What is up everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk through my Game Week 24 watch list and captaincy at the end of the video. Now Game Week 24 watch list is not just going to be players that I think we should be buying for this week. We will be having eyes on maybe Game Week 25, Game Week 26 and the next 5 fixtures as well. So we will be talking about the upcoming Double Game Week in Game Week 25 and then the more important Double Game Week in Game Week 26 as well. So let's dive straight in. You've got my team up on screen now. I've got 2 free transfers. I haven't made one yet. Time of recording is Sunday morning. I'm waiting for the sort of rest of the FA Cup fixtures before I finally decide what I'm going to do. I'm planning on only using maybe 1 transfer, but some of the players we've got in this video are definitely top targets for me this week and then in the next few weeks as well. So let's dive straight into the first one. Now, the first one is Cornet of Burnley. Yes, it's a Burnley player, but let's talk it through. 5.9 million is a very affordable price. He's been away at African Cup of Nations and has finally now returned. He played in Game Week 24 against Watford on Saturday evening alongside his new strike partner in Wout Weghorst. Now, again, they haven't scored a lot of goals this season, Burnley, but Cornet has often been involved, and I think the new link-up that he could have with Weghorst is definitely something that could, in theory, help Burnley escape from relegation this season. He's playing up front and is classed as a midfielder, so again, you get the extra point for the goal and the clean sheet, but you also get the added benefit that he's playing up front. And as well as this, they have lots of fixtures left to reschedule. So outside of Leicester, they are the most fixtures left to be rescheduled with 3. So that means there are double game weeks plenty to come between now and the end of the season for Burnley. And you can see that they do have a double game week in Game Week 26 as well, of Brighton away and Tottenham at home. Now, it's not the most easy double game week, but I definitely think that Burnley are going to have to start scoring some goals if they're going to pick up any points. And a fixture like Tottenham at home, potentially given the form that they've been in recently, could be a chance that maybe they go for a bit of a scalp. 5.9 million for him. Yes, they do have a difficult run of fixture around the double. Crystal Palace in Game Week 27 afterwards is a good fixture. Before that, 2 home fixtures, Manchester United and Liverpool. So yes, home fixtures, but are they going to get a lot in those? And then, as we said, Burnley are lacking a few goals. But I do like Cornet as a bit of a differential because of how cheap he is. A lot of the midfielders we're looking for are slightly more expensive. So if you are looking to save a bit of money, then I do think Cornet is an option that you can go with, especially because of the amount of fixtures that Burnley still have to play. Next up, we've gone Lucas Digne, so a player who doesn't actually have a double game week at all over the next few weeks. So he plays Leeds at home, Newcastle, Watford, before Brighton and Southampton all in the next 5. Probably the best run of fixtures of all the teams in the next 5, despite not having a double game week in Game Week 25 or Game Week 26. So my first concern with Digne when he moved was that Target was still there and he was going to be causing rotation headaches for Lucas Digne. But now Target has gone to Newcastle. Lucas Digne looks absolutely nailed to play every single game. And we saw in the previous game week that he's on set pieces as well. So he's a nailed defender costing 5.1 with a great run of fixtures, being nailed and is on set pieces as well. He's very attacking from open play. He did get an assist in Game Week 24. And Aston Villa themselves are looking very strong. A lot of good new signings with the likes of Coutinho and Digne. And I just think they've got a great run of fixtures and I can see them picking up a lot of points. The only reason that you probably wouldn't want to buy him is that he has no double game week, and I'm definitely considering Lucas Digne. The other thing worth mentioning is that Game Week 30, which is likely to be a blank game week, and I will be talking about chip strategy, doubles and blanks in a future video next week. Haven't had time to fit it in this week, but bringing in players who play in Game Week 30 is definitely a strong strategy, and Lucas Digne having a home fixture against Arsenal plus the fixtures they've got now is one of my top transfer targets, given that Matt Target has gone away to Newcastle. So that's the second one. The third option we've got is Andrew Robertson, 7.1 million. So again, nice run of fixtures in the short term, particularly Leicester, Burnley, and then Norwich and Leeds in Game Week 26. The best double game week there is in that week. Then they blank in Game Week 27 before having West Ham at home in Game Week 28. Robertson has looked so good in recent weeks. He's gone very under the radar because we're all owning the likes of Trent, we're all owning Jota, and maybe having Salah sat on our benches while he's at African Cup of Nations. However, at 7.1 million, I absolutely love the idea of having Robertson in my team. I have Jota at the moment, so I can't necessarily fit him in straight away, but if you have a route to get Robertson in, potentially as a triple up, then I definitely like it. They have good upcoming fixtures, and he is getting a lot of clean sheets as well as the assists that he's bringing in. He's got like 5 assists in his last 10 games or something crazy like that. He's outperforming Trent, he's outperforming Jota as well, and he is cheaper than both of them. Of course, they don't have a fixture in Game Week 27, but if you're free hitting in Game Week 27, then it's definitely a possibility to bring in Robertson in, given their incredible incredible double game week that they do have in game week 26. I don't think I can quite fit him in, but I'm very jealous of anyone else that's going to have Robertson in their teams. Next up, we have Guehi of Crystal Palace. 4.5 million, so a budget defender we've got here. Again, first of all, just look at the fixtures that they've got coming up. So Norwich, Brentford before a double game week in game week 26. Of Chelsea at home, Watford away. Maybe not the most easy, but it is still a double game week. Before Burnley and Wolves away. Really nice fixtures, and he is such a good price as well. He's got great goal threat as well, whether it's from corners, whether it's from set pieces. He is always in and around the box and being involved in that. So there is the ability for clean sheets, but also it's great to have a defender who can score goals on top of that as well. Cheap. With a double game week, you can bench him in around it, but they do have good fixtures if you do need him to come off your bench. For example, in game week 27, when there are blanks for Arsenal and blanks for Liverpool, he has Burnley at home, one of the best fixtures that you could possibly ask for. So I do like him as a very good cheap option. A lot of people are looking at the likes of Aït-Nouri and the Wolves defence, but I do think that Guehi could offer himself as a bit of a differential as well. The only issue is Palace have not looked great defensively. They had some good games, some bad games, but with the run of fixtures and the fact that they are getting all their players back from the African Cup of Nations as well now, I do think it is worth looking at Guehi as well because of the goal threat and the upcoming fixtures that they do have. Next up on the list, we have Son, who is finally returning from injury again. So look at the fixtures they've got along the bottom of the screen. Southampton, Wolves, Manchester City and Burnley, Leeds and Everton. So really nice fixtures, plus a double game week, which includes an away fixture against Burnley. Yes, they do play against Manchester City, but Son did score against Manchester City in game week 1. He's a very big differential at the moment because he's been injured. He did play in the FA Cup game. He only played about 65 minutes, which means his minutes may be managed, but I still think he's fine to play in the upcoming game weeks. They have great fixtures. They have a good double game week. He's on set pieces. He's sort of playing up there alongside Harry Kane. The only thing is Tottenham as a whole have been a little bit unreliable in scoring goals and their performances. But if you can get Son in, and I'm definitely looking at him, I may not be able to get him in this week or next week, but for the double game week and then Leeds in game week 27, Son is one of my top priority players. 10.6 million, but when we're looking to maybe sell the likes of Fernandes and Ronaldo from my team after they double, I think moving to the likes of Son is a brilliant idea. Definitely one of my top transfer targets. Next up on the list, we have a player who's been on this list for a while, which is Rafinha, and I still think he's a very good option, especially now that he does have a double game week in game week 26. Now, the fixtures that week of Manchester United and Liverpool are not that great, but around that, Villa, Everton in the next two, then Tottenham and Leicester have been far from good defensively after that as well. I definitely think there's good amount of points to come in these game weeks for Rafinha, and again, a very affordable price of 6.5 million. He's a constant threat. He's on penalties. He's on a lot of set pieces as well. If Leeds are going to score goals, he's probably got about 70% goal involvement because of the amount of chances he creates, the amount of involvement he has in the Leeds attack. Now they have a double game week as well. It is definitely a good time, I think, to be buying Rafinha. Bamford is still out, so yes, maybe they're not quite as good going forward as they are, but they are getting a few of those others. Harrison looks to be back firing with the goals. They've got Dan James, they've got Geldhart returning. So although Bamford's not there, their attack definitely looks better, and Rafinha is always at the heart of that. Mixed fixtures, yeah, with the double and Leeds having injuries is the only sort of negatives I can think of Rafinha. Definitely a good midfield option to be going with if you are looking for one on a budget. Next up on the list, we have another Burnley option and a new signing in the January transfer window in Wout Weghorst. 6.5 million, so very affordable when we're looking at the likes of our strikers that we might have. He's one of the cheapest options that we could probably go with, especially because there's a slight concern about whether Broja will be available for the upcoming few game weeks, because he did seem to pick up a bit of an injury in the FA Cup, but let's hope that he is back available. Now, Burnley, again, as we spoke with Cornet, have a lot of fixtures left to play. He's a very affordable differential. No one really owns him. And if you watch the Burnley versus Watford game, you could realise how Weghorst may be able to play into the strengths that Burnley had. He is an absolute giant. He is so physical, and so is going to win a lot of those balls in the air, set pieces, but also from open play, he looked pretty skillful as well. So I do think if you're looking for a Burnley option, if you can't fit Cornet into your midfield, then going Weghorst up front is definitely a good option. He could also be on penalties as well. We don't quite know who's going to be their penalties taker, but there's no reason to think that it might might not be Weghorst. Now, their upcoming fixtures are not that great. We said Manchester United, Liverpool in the next two. Then they do double in game week 26 before Crystal Palace and Chelsea after that. Again, it's just very affordable. They have a lot of fixtures left to play. If you're looking for a forward, then yes, I do think he's one to go with. A bit of a differential. Not a lot of forwards are scoring goals at the moment. The other one I am potentially going with is Jimenez, but yes, they have a difficult double as well. 6.5 million is a very affordable price. They have a double game week as well. It's worth a shout if you are looking for a bit of a double game week in the upcoming weeks. Now, moving on, the next one we've got is Aït-Nouri of Wolves and Wolves defence in general. So again, Arsenal and Tottenham in the next two is not that great before a double game week in game week 26 of Leicester and Arsenal. However, actually after the double game week, they have a nice run of fixtures starting with West Ham and Crystal Palace in the two fixtures after that. Aït-Nouri is really good going forward. He's got 2 assists since his return in the past 2 games. He's very cheap as well. 4.3 million. They do have a double game week, plus they play in that blank game week 30 fixture that's going to be caused by the FA Cup cancellations. Now, we don't quite know how many games are going to go ahead, but we know that Wolves and Leeds have both been knocked out of the FA Cup, so they are both fine for that fixture to go ahead if you are not going to play your free hit that week. He has good attacking threat, he's a very cheap enabler, and he has 3 goals conceded in the last 10 game weeks as well. Wolves have been so good from a defensive point of view, combining with the likes of Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool from the amount of goals they are conceding as well. The only thing is their fixtures coming up maybe don't really align with clean sheets, and there is a little bit of rotation concern with the likes of Marcel and now Johnny looking like they're available as well. However, the manager seems to favour Aït-Nouri. He seems to be the first choice there, and his attacking threat is just crazy good. They don't have a real congestion of fixtures, so I do think there is a good chance that Aït-Nouri plays every game. He's definitely one that's on my radar as a Ben Johnson upgrade as well. Next up and finally on this list is Edouard of Crystal Palace, coming in at a 6.5 million forward. Now again, like we spoke with Gahey earlier, if you look at the fixtures, Norwich, Brentford followed by a double which includes Watford away, Burnley at home and Wolves away. So a really nice run of fixtures. Now he didn't come straight into the team when he joined. He's had to face a little bit of rotation with a few others up there. However, over the past few weeks, while maybe a few others have been away at the African Cup of Nations, Edouard has really staked a claim to be that first choice Crystal Palace forward. His underlying stats are absolutely incredible. Go and have a look on whatever site you use at the underlying stats of Edouard and some of those Crystal Palace forwards in comparison. He has been so good in the past few weeks, and he's still a differential, right? 5.7% owned at the moment. A very nice differential given their upcoming fixtures and having a double game week in game week 26 as well. He scored 40 points in the past 6 games, including a massive 14-point return. He's only blanked in 2 of those 6 games as well. A really nice return, and with those upcoming run of fixtures, I expect him to continue to start. I expect him to continue to return points. The only issue is he may get taken off slightly early, around 60, 70 minutes, because of the amount of forwards they do have with the likes of Mateta, with the likes of Benteke, now Ayew, Zaha, all of these available. Some of them play wide, but there is still that little bit of rotation risk. However, I do really like him. I feel like I spoke about Weghorst earlier. Weghorst is a bit more of a punt because of the amount of games they have left to play. Edouard feels a very safe short-term pick because of their fixtures. So those are some players that I think we should be considering owning for the upcoming weeks. But before we finish, let's talk about that all-important Game Week 24 captaincy. Once again, the captaincy feels very open in Game Week 24 because it seems unlikely that Salah is going to be back available. So we've got the top 8: Trent, Cancelo, Bowen, Ronaldo, Son, Jota, Bruno and De Bruyne. Really nice fixtures across the board. Liverpool playing Leicester at home, Manchester City playing Brentford at home, Bowen playing Watford, Burnley against Manchester United, and then Tottenham at home against Southampton. However, if I had to pick my top 4 and rank them for you this week, it would be as follows. I think De Bruyne is a great option if you have him. If you don't have him, it may be difficult to fit him in, but he is my number 1. Cancelo, number 2, is my current captain going into Game Week 24. He got rested in the second half of the FA Cup game. Jota, 3rd at home to Leicester. They may not keep a clean sheet, but I think they'll be good for a few goals. And then Bowen at home to Watford is my number 4 pick. Not that happy with the Manchester United options, and Son has just come back, so I am slightly concerned about his minutes, which is why they are not in there. But that is all we've got time for in this video. If you have enjoyed my top picks as well as my captaincy, please drop a comment in the comment section down below. Ask any questions you need, leave a like, and please do subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. There is plenty of videos that I've got planned to help you with your chip strategy, planning for the rest of the season, as well as the usual top players to pick, my team, and all of that. So do like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll be back again very soon.